Hey, welcome back, guys. It's been a long time since I made a video, just face to face with the camera. I've been doing a lot of editing of backlogs of travel videos, and part of that is really just to get it out there before I move on to a next chapter, which will be the end of Afrowanders. So that's what this whole video is about. I kind of want to just talk about that process, how I've come to where I am now, and why I'm ending it, and why I'm beginning something new. So originally, why I started Afrowanders, I moved to Europe a little over 3-4 years ago, just about, to the Netherlands, and I remember the first thing that I thought about when I found out I was moving was, what's it like to be black in the Netherlands or in Europe? You know, is that all right? Is it safe? Is it is it what I'm used to? Which obviously it's not going to be. You're in a new country, but I think coming from the States, coming from North Carolina in the South, we just have these concerns kind of ingrained in us, and I don't think it's limited to the States also, but yeah, where I'm from, I feel generally safe in North Carolina, but if I go half an hour down the road, then I feel some tension. So if I'm going across the Atlantic Ocean, it's just like, well, yeah, what is it? I'm just curious. And I realized that I'd never found videos detailing it, at least not the way that I would like to have seen it done. So I started making them once I moved out here, and I got a lot of great feedback along the way. I see that I make a lot of travel videos just in the field, just having fun, showing things that that I like to see, mostly around nature. But I see that, yeah, the original point of Afrowanders, the Afro reviews, where I talk about being black in a place, that's what people appreciate the most, and that's what they watch the most. But so I'm glad that it served a purpose, and those videos still live, and they're still watched quite a lot, compared to everything else. So yeah, I'm glad that that chapter happens, and I'm glad that it can still serve the people that that are looking for the same things that I was looking for a couple years ago. But with that being said, things have changed for myself. I've traveled a lot since I've moved out here, and I don't see travel ending as a part of my life, but it's not what it once was. It's not something that I want to continue to sustain at the level that I did, even though it is possible, you know, for many reasons. And also traveling, fast travel, nonstop, moving from place to place. Yeah, I just have my views on it now, you know, based on how it's affected me and what I was using it for. A lot of escaping and not dealing with what is right here. And I see that going on a lot in the world, and it doesn't feel like something I want to continue to support or promote. You know, that's not to say if you travel then stop, but yeah, just be aware of why you're doing it and what you're getting from it. I got a lot from it. I got the perspective I have now from it. And also I realized that, yeah, I don't want it to be a constant part of my life. It's, yeah, it has a specific purpose at this point in my life. And that's why the content doesn't really resonate with me anymore. And there's nothing worse than just creating content just for others, and it's not really an outlet for you. Which it once was. So I've decided to stop making these videos. I don't know, maybe it'll come back around, but right now I see where my heart lies. It's in a different place, especially when it comes to creating content. I feel like I need to shift gears, and it feels right, you know, it feels like time. It feels like it's been a long process of holding on to what was, and even though my heart has changed, even though it doesn't resonate with me anymore, you know, you just hold on to it because it's like, yeah, but this is something that I created, and I know I can still see where it could go if my heart was in it, but it's not, so I can't force that. So at some point you just gotta let go. And yeah, just a few months ago, I think it finally hit me. Like, it finally, that disconnect happened, and I could let go, and then I could create content about other things, which, yeah, if you've seen, at least on my Instagram or a bit on YouTube, it's been some different content that's showing up, and that's more of what I want to talk about. So which brings in the next chapter, Natural Wonders. So fortunately, the name isn't too different. It's a easy transition from Afrowanders to Natural Wonders. But obviously the emphasis would be more on nature, which if you've seen my videos, even my travel videos, that's what it tends to be centered around. You know, when I go to a country, I may stay in the capital just for convenience, but I always take day trips out to the nearest national park, or I'll spend a couple nights somewhere in nature. So that's something that hasn't changed. Actually, more so it has changed in that I won't even go to the capital. I'll fly into the capital and I'll immediately jet out to somewhere else. And lately, not even flying very much for holiday. I'd rather drive or take a train or do some more slow traveling, which I'd like to promote more of. Natural Wonders is going to be a collective. It's also not just going to be me, which I'm excited about. I'm excited to work with others on things that we're all passionate about, which are all things centered around nature. So it's going to be me and a couple good friends and my partner. And we're going to create content centered around nature, but different topics in nature. So things that we're really passionate about and we like to share with the world and feel like we need more of in this world. So the general driving force of why I wanted to start making content about nature is that, first of all, I've been spending a lot of time in nature just since I've gotten out of college and throughout all my 20s. It's pretty much the place where I feel most myself or most natural and at peace. And I realize that so many of us, haven't had that experience or have had limited experiences around that, especially growing up. A lot of us just weren't exposed to it. I realized myself and a lot of people around that I grew up with. And I think that's a huge part of why our world is pretty sad or stressed or depressed. It's a lot of reasons encompassed in that. But I think a big part of it is how separate we feel from our roots, from what we actually are, from nature. We really, in a sense, grow up, a lot of us, that we're separate from it all. And it's a shame, because we're not. We've tricked ourselves and we're just very confused people. That's really what I believe. I can see that now. And we're confused animals, I'll say. We think that we're supposed to be in little office spaces. I'm not saying we need to live out barefoot and butt naked in the wild, but there's a middle ground to be had there. So I really feel that a big part of why we feel that way is we feel separate from it, and just bringing more attention to that. That's what feels right to me, rather than talking about traveling, going to new places, and in this super fast-paced life. So I could feel that what we need is the slow. We need some more boring in our lives. And so I don't want to promote the other side. I do want to promote this, which is being more in touch with everything that's around us. I mean, look at this. This is where it feels right to be for me. And I think that most people would feel that way if had a little more exposure. So it's a big part of it. Restoring nature is a huge, I feel that a huge desire in my heart just to be a part of it. And I feel like most of us should be doing that in our lives. So it would be great if we had that understanding or that realization. And I have a feeling that it'll come for a lot of people in the future, So if I can be any influence on that, or just sharing my story or what I see out here and what I find important, if that has any impact on that, a positive impact on restoring biodiversity in the world and nature, then I want to be a part of it. We've made this world to our liking, that's not a good thing. The world isn't made for humans specifically. It's made for everything on this earth. So we can be a catalyst, not to return it to some past form, but you can be a catalyst to bringing back biodiversity in a new way. So, we'll see what happens in the future, but subtopics around that category: gardening, permaculture, and around gardening and permaculture, growing your own stuff as much as you can or where you can. Also, natural cooking comes along with that. Also not my forte, but my partner Hirosha, that's her thing. So we got some really cool things coming out. Restoring nature in whatever way you find, you know? Just sustainability around what we do. Being more aware of our actions day to day, you know? You don't have to commit to only riding bikes every day, but just being a little more conscious of our actions moment to moment. Think about what we're doing. If we don't know how our actions impact the world, then we can't expect anything to be different. So being a little more informative on those topics, wildlife and birding particularly, because collaborators in Afrowanders is an expert photographer and videographer with birding. So more videos to come with that. It's going to be really dope. And also natural building. That's been one of my newer hobbies, woodworking, and trying to learn how to do it in a more sustainable way. Because obviously we cut down trees for wood, but there are amazing companies, even just right around me in Utrecht, but all over, that use recycled wood. You know, they keep giving it next lives. They buy it and then they sell it, or they give workshops or classes on it, which I've been taking. Just in general, just updating my life. I've been sitting pretty still in the Netherlands this year at least, and I've really enjoyed it. I've picked up some hobbies that will be, I think, more larger part of the channel, including something like gardening or woodworking, and yeah, I'll make specific videos about each, but it's been those have been very satisfying, very fulfilling, and slow types of hobbies, you know. Yeah, you can't rush those things. Yeah, and I'm very amateur at both, so I'm also just gonna bring you along with in the journey, and I'd love to hear about yours if you have it as well. It feels so good to just let that part out of my life out, and then hear the feedback from others, like, "Oh, you like that too? I thought you were just about travel. I love gardening." Like that stuff has been happening, so it's exciting and it gives me hope. So yeah, Afrowanders is done, but sometimes you got to close the door to open a window. So here's the window, Natural Wonders. Yeah, stay tuned for more. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody that's been there supporting Afrowanders, and we could connect in different ways. That's still an important part of what I've done so far, a huge part. It's been my start, so we'll see where things go from here with Natural Wonders, the collective. All right, y'all. Take care. Peace.